Hello, neighbor. I was just putting together a few things before we get started and waiting for anyone to join us. I have a really cool card to show you tonight. It was inspired by Rhonda Wade. I was watching one of her videos earlier this week, and it's a really cool pattern. It's a fun fold card, and I am excited to share it with you tonight. I am turning mine into a birthday card, and if you want to stamp along with me, you will need some colored cardstock, some white cardstock, a stamp set, a paper trimmer, and maybe a die cutting machine or some die cuts or punches for however you want to decorate your card. So I am going to turn the camera around and we'll get started so that we are on time tonight. So hold on one second. It's going to take me just a minute to adjust my camera tonight because I didn't set it up ahead of time. So I just need to get it in the right spot. Oh, that's not it. There we go. I hope you were all able to get out and enjoy some of that wonderful sunshine yesterday. It was beautiful. It was beautiful a little bit today, kind of off and on. So let me see where we are and make sure we're live, and we will go ahead and get started with our card for tonight. So tonight we are going to be making a fun fold card, and I'm using the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, which is actually on the last chance list. So if you are interested in this paper, you should order it quickly. I love this paper. It's one of my favorites. So I feel like I say that a lot, but this one really is one of my favorites. So the card we're making tonight, this is the one that I have started already, but I haven't quite finished yet. And so I'm going to actually make a second one before I finish this one so that I can show you all the little steps along the way. So one of the things that I'm using tonight is this foam adhesive sheet. This is made so that you can die cut with it and put it through your die cutting machine and turn any shape into a dimensional shape. So what I've done is I've attached Marina Mist to part of this sheet and then Mossy Meadow to the other part. So what you're going to need for tonight is a piece of basic cardstock, and this time we are going to use Mossy Meadow. So here's my piece of Mossy Meadow, and I didn't set my space up very well tonight, so I'm searching for a good spot. So we're going to cut this 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. So there's our 5 1/4 side. And now we'll cut at 4 1/4. And this piece is going to be our card base. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. Now next we need a piece of white that measures 4 by 10. And I've already cut this one. But we're going to turn it sideways and we're going to score it at 5 so that we can fold it in half. And we're just going to fold that in half. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder and just press that fold line so that it's nice and steady. And I'm going to set that aside for a moment as well. And then I've cut 2 pieces of Designer Series paper that measure 3 3.5 by 3.5 on either side. And I also have, hi Kim, thank you for joining me, a piece of designer series paper that measures 1 inch by 12 inches. And this is going to be for the band. So next, we're gonna get our Mossy Meadow ink. I have little stacks of ink all over the place right now. I haven't cleaned my table very good in a little while. So we're gonna take our Mossy Meadow ink and our piece of 4x10 card, and we're gonna open it up like this. And on the inside, the stamp set I'm using tonight is Peaceful Moments. This is one of my favorite stamp sets. I use it all the time. It has happy birthday with deepest sympathy, thank you. And we're gonna use, it has a lot of sentiments, but tonight we're gonna use wishing you every happiness this special day will bring and happy birthday. So I did it the opposite way on the first one, but this time I'm going to put the happy birthday on the inside. It's fairly rare that I stamp on the inside of a card, but I know exactly what I want to do with this one, and so I'm just going to stamp it right away. But as you can see, I need to turn it since I'm stamping the other direction. There we go. And I'm going to ink that up with some Mossy Meadow ink. And this is a really great designer series paper. I love the On the Horizon paper, and I also love this Beauty of the Earth paper. And it's on sale right now because it's on the last chance list. All right, so we're going to clean our stamp off. And I'm going to put that one back in the case. This is a really cool card. I'm really excited to show you this. Okay, and next we need a shape for the front of our card. And for the first one, I used this shape, but I'm gonna use the opposite stamp this time. And so I need a bigger circle. So what I'm going to do is use these layering circles. I have to be a little bit careful because I just put them a little too close to that magnet and it will sometimes grab them. I need to put these circles back because I'm going to need a little bit larger size. I was actually asked to make a second card, so I'm going to make two that are similar but not exactly the same. So I'm going to take this right here sentiment out, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring, and I'm just going to measure it to see which size circle I think it will fit in the best. And I think it's going to be this one here. That looks good. And then I also need a corresponding circle that will go outside the edge of this one. I don't think it's that one. I can't tell which one is. I think this one will be the best. Let's see. Yep, I think that's going to go good. And so then I can set my layering circles aside. I'm going to put these up here, and I'm going to see if my sentiment will fit on this scrap piece of white here. if I can. No, that's not quite big enough. So I'm going to grab a little bit bigger piece of white cardstock. Let's see, is that one big enough? Yep. All right, so we're going to use that piece. How are you doing tonight, Kim? Did you get out in the weather yesterday at all? And we're going to put this stamp right in the center. And we can, oh, I forgot to stick I was going to use this stamp set at first. I love this Turtle Friends stamp set, but I changed my mind at the last minute. So let's ink up our stamp. And we can stamp it down. I did not get a stamp video together last week on Easter. I thought that I would, but it just didn't work out that way. And then the whole week got a little busy, and I never did get a video put up last week. So hopefully I'll get, no, oh no, not a sinus infection. Does it happen a lot when the weather changes to you? I feel like my dad gets those a lot when the weather changes. I get them once in a while, but not, I should knock on wood, but not recently. Okay, and now I am going to run this through my die cutting machine, and I will be right back. But I'm also, while I'm cutting this one out, I'm going to run through one of the scallop edge in the Mossy Meadow. So I will, uh-oh. Those tricky little magnets almost got me. Oh, every spring and fall. Okay, yep. So it does have to do with the changing of the seasons, probably. Okay. I am still here, you guys. I'm just running my things through my die cutting machine. And this is what we get. We've got a circle with wishing you every happiness. And we have this pretty scallopy edge. And I'm going to set these little extras aside for now. I think you're going to like this pattern. It's really cute and it's really fun and not hard. It's really fun. Okay, so while I am right here, I'm going to glue this together. So I've turned my sentiment over, and I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue on there. And I'm going to stick that right in the middle. Okay, and then, okay, so far we have our piece of white that says happy birthday, our little die cut that says wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. Next, yes, I will send out the directions. I should be able to have them together and out by Wednesday. That's my goal every week, is if I do a video on Sunday, to have the instructions out by Wednesday. So now these little dies right here are from the Playful alphabet dies. And I love these alphabet letters, and they are going away. They're on the last chance list. So if you are interested at all in an alphabet set, and I didn't see that the new catalog had an alphabet set yet in dies. I think there are stamps, but I didn't see dies. But that is one of my favorite sets. I love having an alphabet and numbers, and you will see why in just a minute. They're great for birthdays, anniversaries. I made some really cute cards. Count on me 1, 2, 3 with these. It's a really great set to have. And when you run this through your embossing machine, okay, I want to show you one more time. This is a foam sheet, and I peeled the top layer off. It works just like a dimensional, and stuck on my colored cardstock. Now you could do it separate. You can not layer on the cardstock and run it through the machine and then put them together with the letters. I've done it both ways, but that way takes a little bit longer. This is much easier, and you only have to run through the machine one time. And then one other thing I want to tell you about your die cutting machine while we're right here. With these new plates, I have found, see where these words are? They're a tiny bit raised up on one side, the number and the words. If I face these words towards my cardstock, sometimes it will smudge off on the cardstock. So anytime you're using your plates, make sure that you can see, make sure you can read those words, that it's facing the right direction, so that it won't come off on your cardstock, especially if it's a part you're going to want to use later. Okay, so here are my little number die cuts. I know, and I didn't realize that about the numbers until I think it was just yesterday. I love this alphabet set. I love to be able to make my own words a little bit sometimes. So I'm sad that they're going away, but hopefully eventually a new one will come out. But until it does, I know that I'm not going to give mine up. So here are our little numbers. We've got a 9 and an 8 because I am making a 98th birthday card for a gentleman at my church whose birthday is on May 4th. So all of you out there who know what May 4th is, it's a special day for certain people. And his birthday just happens to be May 4th. Well, I'm really struggling with this one right here. So I'm going to stick that paper back on. Okay, and hopefully it won't stick to anything. All right, so here's my 98. And I hope that's a 9. I couldn't, the 9 and the 6 looked exactly the same to me. So hopefully no one else will know. I don't know, Kim, do you know Wayne Barber? It's Wayne Barber. And if you don't know him, you probably should, because his daughter Anne loves to quilt. She is the one who helped me finish my quilt. And he makes a little wooden stool for every child in our church. He puts their names on them. You do know them, or at least him. He is a great guy. He's in he was in the hospital for a little bit, but now he is in a rehab place. I can't remember the name, which one. Okay, so let me focus on what I'm doing. You know the name. Okay. So these are our designer series papers, And these are 3.5-inch squares. So you need two 3.5-inch squares. And what we're going to do with these is place them on a diagonal in our cutter. And we're looking to line up our corners here so that we can score diagonally our square. Now, if you are a really good folder, you may not need to score diagonally, but I like to have a score line to fold on. So we're going to do the same thing to both of them. And now we're going to fold them in half and press them down again. I'm going to set that one out of the way, and then I'll fold the other one in half and press it down. Sounds like there's a little stomping upstairs. That's all right. Okay, now what we're going to do is glue these on the back side of our piece of white. So I'm going to take my glue and do it just like this. This is a really cool card. I'm so excited for you to get to the end. I hope you guys like this. All right, and we're going to put it right here on the side and press it down. And then we will take the other one and put a little glue on this side. And we are going to press it down over here. The nice thing about that glue is we can line up our paper just a little bit before it sets in. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. We've got our little flaps, and we've got this flap, which actually is going to go this way. All right, and let me set this to the side for a moment. And here's our card base, and remember that was 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to turn this over, and this is the back side. And we're going to put our glue along here. I really like this fun fold. I might be making a bunch more of these. And we're going to line it up. And oh no, I must have cut it wrong. Okay, hold on. We're not going to line it up. What did I do wrong? Let's see. 4. I measured that one too. I measured it too big. Okay, so yeah, that didn't work out. We're gonna adjust just a little bit because I did not work that out right. Let's see. 4 1/4. What did I make this one? Must have been 4 1/4 as well. And it does not fit in the center of there, does it? Well, let's see. I don't really want to start over. Okay. Well, I wonder if we can put it on here and still get it in an envelope. We're going to try it for today and see. All right, so here is a lesson for all of us. The piece of white should be 4 by 10, not 4 1/4 by 10. I somehow mixed that up. All right, so It's still cute. It just hopefully will fit in the envelope. That's the only thing I worry about, because now it's a little bit wider than it should have been. But that's how it goes. Sometimes we get wider than we should be, right? Okay, and where's my piece? Here's my piece of 1 by 12. And we are going to put this around the back. Let's see, just like that. And we can actually cut a part of this off because it's a little bit too long. There we go. And this time I'm going to use a couple little glue dots. So I'm just going to stick them on the end of this paper here. And if you look close, you can see these little glue dots here will just come off and stick on my paper. Sometimes I'll pull them off with my take your pick tool, but it's really just as easy to swipe them right off the paper. All right, so now we're going to tighten up our belly band, but we don't want it to be too tight because we want it to slide on and off of our card. And next, we are going to put this on the front. And I will use some Stampin' Dimensionals for that. It's right here along the middle. Hopefully that's the middle. I guess I should have paid attention. I'm getting a little too excited about this card. I really like this card. Okay, so we're going to put these on here. And then I thought we could put our little 98 right up here at the top. I was looking actually for a set with trains. Could you do them with note cards? I think that you could. I'm trying to think about the size of the note card. I'll try one with a note card and see if I can figure it out. I feel like you could do it, but maybe it would open. Would it open this way instead? Because the note card would open this way. Maybe they would need to come in from the side. So I'll need to measure what the diagonal is of that 3.5. I should be able to figure that out in my head, right? But my geometry is escaping me right now. Make note cards. Yeah, and you could use your basic white too to make smaller. You could make these smaller so that they fit in the note card envelopes. But you could use, I think you could do it either way. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella on here just because I want that little 98 to stand out a little bit. But I do think you could use them with note cards for sure. And this is just going to make it a little bit sparkly. Then I'll finish up the one that I already started so that you guys can see that too. I really like this pattern, and it was so easy. Well, if I had done it right, if I had measured right, it would be really easy. Okay, so here's our card. This slides off and it opens up and says happy birthday. So we could definitely add more here if we needed to, but I think it's really pretty just as it is. Now if I can get it back in there. Okay, so here is the first one, and we'll actually have two tonight because I made another one over here. It's just not finished yet. So this one I used the same designer series paper pack, not the same exact same paper. And in the inside, I did wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. And I forgot to stamp it first. So I stamped on a piece of white and I just added it in there. And then we have our fold insides. Okay, and then we can turn it over and add our liquid glue. And I was just thinking, I don't know if there's a stamp set for this or not at this point, but it would be really neat if it could say 98 and counting. I don't know if we have a stamp set that says that or not, but I'm going to be looking when I get done here. All right, so we're going to put this in the middle, and this one I did measure right. Now, if you didn't want to use a belly band, you could also use a piece of ribbon, and that would be really pretty. All right, and this one, I used this piece of designer series paper. So we'll try to measure that out. And let's see. Give it a little trim right about here. And I'll get those little glue dots out again. I really love these glue dots. They're pretty easy. I like all the adhesives. I really do. I don't use the Stamp and Seal as much, just because I haven't perfected my, not perfected, but I don't feel like I use it as well as I should. Some people feel like it's easier than the liquid glue, but I don't yet. All right, and I'm going to put my happy birthday over to the left just a little bit this time. So I'm going to try to keep my dimensionals down here. But I'm still going to put on 2, even though it's a little bit smaller area, because I don't want it to fall off of there. And I'm going to put it right here. And then I still need to put on my 98. So maybe this time I'll put it, well, I don't know. I think it might look good up here, and then it will just be in a little different spot. Let's see. Maybe right about there. Have you started any more of the note cards yet, Kim? You maybe not if you've got a sinus infection, because it's hard to craft sometimes when your head's stuffy. I know that. I like to run, I have a little diffuser down here, and I put some of that Breathe, I think it's Breathe Essential Oil from doTERRA. I like that in there. I feel like it's kind of like having one of those little Vicks humidifiers running. I feel like Vicks helps, but I asked the doctor one time, and he I think he said there's no real science behind it, but if you feel like it helps you, go ahead and do it. So I do. Oh, just laundry. Boo. I need to do that. I've been kind of putting it off. But what I really need to wash is the girls have favorite sweatshirts, and they will wear those things until they're so dirty. It really looks like they're homeless. And I have a hard time getting them to leave them home just long enough to wash. It's terrible. Okay. So I think those are pretty good cards for today. We've got 2 happy birthday cards, 98th birthday cards. And I really like those. And before we go, I wanted to show you another card that I've been working on. So there are my cards that I'll finish up. I'll make little envelopes for them too, maybe that say happy birthday. But I wanted to show you this card that I have been working on. Now this is with the Honeybee Home set as well as the Garden Greenhouse. Those are kind of my favorites lately. Oh, good. I'm glad. So when you open this one up, this is a different kind of fun fold card. And we're not actually going to make this one tonight, but I will get it ready for next week. When you open it up, it uses a window sheet across here to hold these 2 pieces together. So they're a little bit separate. And then you can, because I'm not quite finished with it, I did want to add a few more little things inside here. And then you can open this one up. And, and there's this is my instructions to myself, so I'll remember what to write down. But I thought this was a really cool card too. So I will get to work on that. I kind of wanted to add a little bee over here, like a pop-up bee. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll get the instructions ready for that. And I think it goes really well with our one from last week. So I used that same technique, and I was trying to use up that. I made about 4 sheets of that paper when I made that little smackdown paper. So there's what I have for that. So that'll be next week's card. And that's pale papaya in there. The pale papaya, mossy meadow, and cinnamon cider. Put the bee, the bee on the inside. Okay. And so I know the cinnamon cider is going away, and so is the designer series paper, Beauty of the Earth. That's on the last chance list. And the alphabet. So if you want the alphabet, you should order that quickly, because I feel like it'll go. It's not gone yet, because I checked before I came online so I could tell you. But I really love this alphabet. And that's pretty much it for today. All right, thank you for joining me for this week's Stampin' Sunday. I will be back again next Sunday with the next Honeybee Home card. I really am liking that set right now. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye, Kim.